Welcome to Contracting Conversations. My name is Jim Valley, and I'm joined by my co-host, Scott Williams. Today, our conversation is with Cindy Baker, DAU's Learning Asset Manager for the Operational Contracting course, Con 2310. Cindy, thanks for joining us today, and welcome back.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity.
Great. So, Cindy, what can you tell us about this new course?
Well, Con 2310 is a new online training course that we created for a new operational contracting credential. That credential is going to be identified as CCON 024. A DoD working group was formed of different contracting professionals, and they figured out the performance outcomes / learning objectives. And they went ahead and defined what operational contracting is, since we couldn't find any definition for that. So the working group came up with the definition of it's contracting for installations, garrisons, posts, and bases. Its day-to-day operations are to procure fundamental supplies, services, construction, and architect engineering services, A&E on a military installation, as well as in support of contingency operations.
Wow, that sounds pretty cool. Cindy, can you tell us a little bit about what the course entails?
Sure. So when the working group was formed way in the beginning, just like acquisition planning, right? We had the beginning stage of curriculum development, and they decided to structure the course based on the DoD contracting competency model. So the learning objectives are based on those competencies we find in the model. The course takes the learner through a case study that we actually did some research on, and we found a real world operational contracting procurement from pre award to contract closeout. We also included foundational skills as part of this course. So we created videos of seasoned contracting professionals speaking to professional competencies that fall under those skills from an operational contracting perspective. And those 3 videos, we also made sure to represent equally the Navy, the Air Force, and the Army.
Wow, that sounds pretty involved. It sounds like a really good course. Cindy, are there other videos in the course as well?
Yes, we wanted to offer different modalities besides just reading in the OLT, the online training course. So, one video is talking about CORs, our contracting officers representatives. So, when CORs are required and the relevant resources when there are CORs appointed to contracts. We also created another video that talks about key aspects of payments during the contract administration phase.
All right, thanks, Cindy. So I really like the idea of especially doing this in a virtual environment, online. It does help us as contracting officers in the scheduling aspect, but I heard there was a DoD pilot formed to review the draft course. So how did that go?
That went very well. So while the pilot was not mandatory, the DAU learning director of this effort, his name is James Malloy, wanted to bring in subject matter experts from the field to provide input on the course. So after all the emails asking for volunteers were sent out across DoD, we wound up with 57 volunteers across DoD, and we held that pilot virtually for 2 weeks. We received excellent feedback from those volunteers, which very much helped the quality of the course and the user experience.
Well, Cindy, that's great. I'm sure that experience really helped the course. Are there going to be more learning assets created for operational contracting?
Yes. So our next project for curriculum development is to create an operational contracting workshop. And the thought behind this is just to have the maximum amount of flexibility which workshops allow. So if an organization wants to request instructor-led training, either virtually or in person at a DAU campus, The workshop structure will allow them to do that. And it will also allow for the tailoring of the content if need be to meet very specific unit training needs. If a DoD unit is not located near a DAU campus and wants in-person instruction, they can pay for the travel of a DAU instructor to their location under DAU's mission assistance.
Hey, Cindy, I think that's really good to know that the customers need to know that we can come to their site. So I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yes, very important for them to know that.
Yes, absolutely. And thanks, Cindy. We really do appreciate you coming to the show today. And I want to make sure that there's anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up.
We just hope that those who work in operational contracting units, that they really get great benefit out of the credential overall, as well as the new course that was created. And as a side note for the new course, we used one of our software capabilities where we're really hoping folks will enjoy the course even more so. It has a very modern and fresh look. So we hope that everybody gets great benefit out overall with this learning opportunity.
Great. And thanks again, Cindy. Jim and I really appreciate you coming on the show to discuss the training opportunities for operational contracting.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And thank you again, Cindy. And that is all the time we have for today. But please, if you haven't already, subscribe to our Contracting Conversations channel. Type any comments below to include your questions for future discussions, and spread the word of this channel to your peers and to those you supervise or lead. Let us help you answer their questions. And we look forward to having future contracting conversations with you.